We've been asking, what's next for Labour? How can they win back voters? Who would you like to see replacing Jeremy Corbyn? Is the project dead? Let's talk to Karen Constantine. She's Labour District Councillor for Newington and County Councillor for Ramsgate. Karen, lovely to talk to you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Lovely to talk to you too.
Good stuff.
I know the project isn't dead.
Well, there we are. Let's start with that. The project overwhelmingly rejected by the electorate last week. Surely it must be, if it's not dead, it's certainly on life support at the moment.
Well, you might say that, and obviously there's some truth to that. Last week was, a great shock for us. It was obviously the result that we wanted. However, our core belief of fairness, equality, social justice is a flame that just can't be extinguished. So we will continue with this. Obviously, we've got the local elections coming up in May. We'll press forward then. We're now going to go through a fresh leadership and leader and deputy competition. So that will reintroduce some vitality and discussion. I believe that many of our ideas in the manifesto were really great ideas. They were exactly what we need for the future. They were clearly costed. However, I think we went that bit too far for the general population.
And you sat on the fence over the major issue that has affected the population of this country in a generation.
Absolutely. I think we did sit on the fence. I think if we'd have come out soon or had a stronger position, we might have been better off. However, where we are, we have to, as many politicians know, you have to dust yourself off and you have to get back on the horse and you have to carry on. And the needs in most of our communities that we represent are only going to increase. The issues with the NHS, the high cost of transport, failing education system, all of that, those are live issues. We're still going to be there to support the communities and to hold the Tories to account. They've now got this huge mandate, so we need to start to see them delivering on these big issues. So let's get Brexit done, and then let's sort out our hospitals, let's sort out our infrastructure, let's address education where it's failing, let's build those homes for people. I mean, I've got one family still living in a tent. That is scary in this day and age.
Do you think that the party needs a complete reboot? Do you think that just changing the leader is going to make any difference whatsoever? We were talking to John Rentoul just before the news at 11 o'clock, and we were talking about 1983 and after the massive defeat that Michael Foot suffered as leader of the Labour Party. And John, who is for the Independent, so he's left-leaning, he was saying that the Labour Party is in a bigger mess than it was then, and you were out of power for 14 years after 1983.
Yeah, that was true, and I remember those years really well as a young single parent struggling really hard to bring up two children, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody else because those years were really long, hard years. And I think we'll come back better organised, with more grassroots campaigning. We've still got, remember, 500,000 members. We're still the biggest movement across Europe. Now, I don't see any sign of people going away or giving up. And I think one of the things that has to be acknowledged in this election is yes, of course, I acknowledge fully what the Tories did, but I think the Conservatives need to acknowledge the growing Labour vote amongst the younger people. And now those voters are not going anywhere, and those voters fully get our manifesto and believe in it like we do.
What was interesting, I thought, having a look around over the weekend, is that you've got different figures from different wings of the Labour Party, all encouraging people to join the Labour Party. But there is a fight now, isn't there? There is a fight from moderate Labour to the, let's call it the Corbyn wing of the party, the more left-wing members of the Labour Party. There is a war about to break out, isn't there? Because they're trying to amass troops.
Well, I think the war that's about to break out will be the war that the media creates. I mean, we saw our party leader, Jeremy, we really did see a lot of smear campaigns going on, and that isn't good for anybody, because a lot of what was said wasn't at all true. So I think what we've got to do is we've got to coalesce around the key parts of our manifesto. In particular, I'll say it again, around the NHS, but also our Green New Deal. I mean, that idea of aligning the economy with dynamic economy and growth in the economy and better jobs for people, that's got to be the way forward.
Karen, who would you like to see take over?
Well, I think, look, in the running at the moment, you've got people that have chucked their hat in the ring at the moment, is Jess Phillips and Clive Lewis. There's also talk, of course, of Rebecca Long-Bailey, who's very good, and Angela Rayner. So I would like to see somebody that really connects with people, that is from our heartland community, and that when they speak, they're speaking with the passion and they're speaking with the knowledge that they can take people with them.
Do you think we're finally going to get a female Labour leader?
I think that's a huge possibility, actually, although, and I speak as a feminist, I want to see the right person for the job. And what I want to see is a really strong team. So it's leader, deputy, team. We've got a mountain to climb, and we need a really strong team to do that.
Karen, good to talk to you. Thank you so much. Karen Constantine, Labour District Councillor for Newington and a County Councillor for Ramsgate.